All right, Coach. Coach will open us up at 7, then we ask you to use the microphone to ask your questions. Coach, whenever you're ready.
All righty. With the quality of this league and the quality of schedule that we knew we were having this year, we knew we were going to have a lot of fourth quarter close games, and we've kind of lived in that realm. And when we've played really good football and not shot ourselves in the foot, we come out on the winning end. And then when you play a game where you have 5 turnovers and have some self-inflicted wounds, those are the games you're going to lose in the fourth quarter, and that was the case here. I don't think you can win any game in this league turning the ball over 5 times. Credit to our kids. I thought they put us back in a position to be able to get a 1-score game in the fourth quarter and had the ball twice in our hands offensively, and weren't able to make the plays down the stretch to win the game and to win a conference game. I do see our young players getting better and better and better each and every week, and we continue to progress, I think, as a football team. We got a great opportunity this week. It's great to be back in Paulson, top 25 team coming in with James Madison, family weekend. Should be an exciting time here in Statesboro, and really looking forward to the opportunity. So with that, I'll take any questions that you have.
You've had some time to look over the tape.
Yeah.
4 interceptions.
Yeah.
Seemed like a couple of those weren't really on Kyle. There was a drop pass.
Yeah.
He got hit on the play. When you reevaluate that, it seemed like there were a lot of drops in the game. Overall, offensively, assess the offense after having some time.
Yeah, definitely. We all took turns, and showed that to the team yesterday. I thought Kyle played like a warrior, and sometimes you look at a stat sheet and you see 4 interceptions and you go, wow, quarterback must have had a bad day. Well, really, he made some plays that really got us into get back in the game. There's going to be times that, and I don't expect it from our guys, or I think we have not only one of the top receiving corps in our league, but one of the top receiving corps in the country. You don't anticipate a ball being tipped off the hands, for an interception. With a veteran offensive line that really hasn't had a lack of communication. We had some communication errors that all of a sudden we let one free go, and Kyle's getting hit as he throws the ball, and the ball goes sideways on him. Those type of things happen to a quarterback. The one thing that I will say about Kyle that I was really, really impressed with was his demeanor the whole way through. He never got frustrated. He never got down. He really put us back in a position. He just said, next drive, next drive, next drive, and put us back in a position that we're 1 score down with 6 minutes left to go in the game, and really had that ball twice. So sometimes stat sheets say one thing, and when you watch the tape, it's a collective effort. And that, in this case, it was a collective effort of errors offensively that really not only put our defense in bad positions in the first half, but really at the end of the game, lost the game.
On the flip side of things, defensively, after having a chance to look, they give up over 330 yards rushing. I know you had to be a little disappointed in the way they were tackling and the way that you allowed Georgia State to pile up so many yards. Yeah,
and it really, when you go back to it, I thought Georgia State came in with a very good plan. Sean does a good job with that run game, especially with the tempo, and they make you get lined up fast. They make you stay simple, and really not a lot of times it was the tackling. It was really misfits when you go down and break the tape down. It was the ability that every man is responsible for a gap, and a lot of time because of tempo, it's about getting alignment and assignment sound, and there were times that we slipped out of gaps, and when you look at the explosive runs that happened, more times than not, it was a man being out of his gap or trying to chase a responsibility that was not his. So from an assignment sound standpoint, that's what we need to correct going in against a James Madison team that brings just as an effective run game into this week.
And Coach, you just touched on a little bit, that James Madison team, what do you know so much about them so much, heading into this matchup?
Well, Coach Signetti has done a tremendous job, he and his staff, of putting together a really quality football team. Really 2 programs that have similar histories and traditions of excellence of being able to be an FCS powerhouse and now coming, to FBS, and credit to them. They're doing a wonderful job. The things that jump off to you out of the screen is, one, they bring a very powerful run game. You saw that versus Arkansas Arkansas State last week. When things weren't, going all the way right for them early, they decided to say, okay, what are we really good at? And it's the run game. And that's their baby. That's what they're going to do. The quarterback does a really nice job, especially on normal down and distances, of working the RPOs and especially the play actions. Where you really have to be good against this team is on early downs. You got to get them in situations where they have to pass the ball, when they get second and longs, get third and longs, where they're out of their comfort zone. When they are in normal down and distance, that is when they're at home. Defensively, you're talking about one of the best defenses not only in our league but in the country. The run defense that they put together has been exceptional. They bring zone pressures from everywhere, field, boundary, interior. They mix the coverages up on the quarterback. They do a really nice job of playing sound, fundamental football and very aggressive with a bunch of veteran kids that have played a lot of ball at that place. And they have a team that warrants being talked about nationally, and they deserve the ranking that they have right now.
You mentioned they're number 2 in the nation in total defense, number 1 in rush defense. How does an FCS program so quickly make such an impact in its first season?
Well, credit to coach. They've done a tremendous job of evaluation and recruiting, and putting a team out there that has been with them a long time. You look at the number of veteran guys on this team. They've been within this system. His consistency of being able to, one, his staff being consistent with them, 2, having guys that are older guys within the same system, not having to change up, but great evaluation of the guys and development of guys. They've done a wonderful job, and again, they're warranted of being number 25 in the country.
I got a bunch of questions asked, but I don't want to forget about the health issues. Todd Bradley, Glenn, Derek Cantine, Quinn Williams, others. Can you comment on that?
Yeah, unfortunately, with Todd, it was a knee injury that will, require surgery, and that will end his season. Thanks to Todd for all that he has meant to this program and still does. He's a warrior. I've never seen a young man handle an injury like that just with class and toughness and pride and just being who he is, and more worried about his team than his own self. And that's who he is. Derek is still going through concussion protocols. We'll see how that plays out this week. He is progressing through it right now. And Quinn, unfortunately, has a blood clot, which is his second blood clot. And while he's here, he's going to be placed on blood thinners, and that will hold him out for a significant period of time. Don't know the exact future. Don't have a crystal ball on that, but it will be an extended period of time.
Thanks for sharing that. We're 6 games into the season, 6 more to go. Can you comment with some specifics about the progress made in your first season with the offense, the defense, and the special teams? Whether it's progression or regression at times? Yeah,
we knew going into this season that it was going to be a great resume when you're playing the quality of teams that we're playing. 9 out of the 12 teams were bowl teams last year. We sit at 3-3 halfway through the season. The thing that I see our younger players really developing at a fast pace, which has put us in games against really quality football teams and given us a chance to win. You imagine 5 out of the 6 games have been in the fourth quarter, 1-score games. So we're putting ourselves in position, and we won half the games over that period of time. The thing that I'm sad for the kids is the last 2 games, especially in conference, they put themselves in positions that they weren't in last year. Now it's about getting over that hump. That's where we have to grow. But the development of our younger players and the veteran leadership of olders, and these guys playing with relentless effort as far as leaning on each other, playing for each other, I think has been really good. The progression of our special teams, I can't it's night and day as far as how far we've come. The investment that we've made both in the spring and the fall has been really important, and you're seeing strides in that area. You're looking at one of the best field goal kickers in the country right now in Alex Rayner. Obviously, we knew about Anthony Beck and what he brings to the table. I don't even mention his name. Probably nobody knows who Mark Langston is as a snapper, and you don't ever want to be known. Your name known as a snapper. but he's doing a quality job. But just the schemes that we're doing, I thought Amari did a nice job on kick return as a young player last week, and then stealing a possession last week. Great job by Coach West and that group getting us getting that ball back on 4th and 1 with a fake punt. So I think our special teams are progressing. The one area that I'd like to see, I knew how good an offense that we could be, and I put a lot of pressure on the offense. We're scoring points, and we could score even more. In my opinion, and that comes from not making the errors like we made last game. You don't turn the ball over. We turn the ball over 5 times and score over 30 points. You've got a really good offense. Don't turn it over, and what do you score? That's where we've got to progress, is making sure that when we're playing really quality conference opponents, which we know how tough this league is, especially down the stretch here, as we get to November, we don't need to be making those self-inflicted errors.
Yeah, you talked about the offense and special teams.
Yeah.
Again, the defense seems to be, with the exception of maybe that first half when you guys played Coastal, they looked really good. The second half, and then pretty much the entire Georgia State game, there were troubles, and when you've got to score 40 or something points to beat a team, that's got to be a concern.
Yeah, defensively, I know that Coach Harris and that staff are working tirelessly to make the improvements that are needed. Unfortunately, in Coastal, it was the passing game with the explosive passes down the field, and then you turn around and you look up and it's the run game that warranted it. I think in talking to Coach this week, I look forward to the package that they're putting together. I think it is a package that can help our kids. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I know our kids want to play quality football, but playing quality football on defense is being assignment sound and being in your gaps, and we have not done that. For us to continue to not only put ourselves in games, but to win these close games, we're going to need to do what we did on the last 2 series. The last 2 series of that game, they got us the ball back twice. They played solid, sound, absolutely exceptional defense and got us the ball back. That's what we need to be more consistent in doing. We've been spotty. Consistency is going to be the key.
I know you talked about coming in. Championships is what we play for here. Right now, you're 0-2 in league play. Got a top 25 team coming in. You could ill afford to go 0-3 and be in that mix. How much pressure is there, or is there any more than usual in this game with James Madison?
Well, I've always told our kids pressure is a privilege. And being at Georgia Southern is a privilege because the pressure's on you to always win championships. I don't know what, all I know is the now, and you got to focus on the now, and the now is James Madison. What does 6-2 look like in this league, conference? I don't know what that'll end up being, but we got to fight like heck to try to get there. I think it's going to warrant that, to have a discussion of being in a championship game, but to only do that, you better focus on the now, and that's James Madison against one of the better opponents that we'll face all year.
What do you think you have to do in order to pull out the win Saturday?
Really, it's going to start by protecting the quarterback versus defensive front in this pressure of being able to keep Kyle upright. Continue to make Jalen White and Gerald Green and Amari, against one of the best run defenses in college football, to keep making them a factor to keep us balanced, I think is going to be really important. Keep playing the quality of special teams. We're playing a really high standard of special teams right now that's really giving us good field position and stealing possessions. We got to keep on doing that. And then defensively, we got to do a great job in this game of stopping the run. You have to. I've always believed you got to at least try to take the strength of a team away. They're going to get theirs. Their runners are quality runners, but we got to try to do what we did against a Ball State team and a Coastal Carolina team, 2 really good run teams. We held them to enough where we won the run game and limited them enough where they had to have some 3rd and longs and put them in a little bit abnormal situations for them.
Coach, I'm going to depart from James Madison just for a second. Can you share your thoughts about, I don't know if it's a trend or a strategy to replace a coach earlier in the season rather than maybe inevitably firing him at the end of the season? Matt Rule was fired today for the Carolina Panthers. Now they're talking about him being in line for major college jobs like Nebraska, Arizona State, and Wisconsin. And based on your experience last year, and I know you've commented about how Kyle Marrero and Jared Benko did a smart thing to search during the season rather than maybe more traditional or conservative in that approach. You talk about how is this a trend in college football, specifically maybe the Wisconsin job was kind of surprising to a lot of people.
Yeah, we've seen it be a trend, you know, and it's you know, we've always as college coaches understand that we're in a very high risk business. Maybe the most high risk, you know, where you're just trying to fight for another 24 hours each and every day, and that's the reality of what college football is. You know, the fact of the matter is we're in an entertainment business, a production business, and, you know, we're well compensated for it. And we all understand as coaches. I understood it at USC, the expectation and the standard. I think we all understand that, you know, and it has become a trend that coaches are being let go earlier in the season, and where administrators can go find their next choice. I'm an example of that, being hired in November. And so I think as we all, coaches have always been routine-based creatures and being focused on the now and doing our job within the now. And we understand. Yeah, we're all smart guys. We understand the repercussions of if you don't produce at this level, both in high-level college as well as the NFL. That's the seat that we chose, and if you don't like it, you know, don't take the job. All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you. All right, we'll get started with players. First will be Justin Birdsall, defensive back. Whoever wants to start us can take the mic and we'll get rolling.
Justin, obviously, you guys are as a defense, don't want to be giving up 300 yards rushing and the amount of points that happened on Saturday. Coach said he felt like people weren't in the right gaps and the right fits. What do you feel like the problem has been on defense, and what do you feel like you guys need to do to kind of stop what's been happening over the last couple games?
Yeah, exactly what Coach said. I mean, it's on us as players. We actually just had a meeting last night as a defense. You know, just players without coaches, just addressing these problems as defense. As the defense came up that we probably should have been had this meeting because at this point we're basically asking our offense, you know, just to score, you know, 40 or more points every game just for us to even have a chance at winning. And as a defense, we don't feel like that's right. Coach Harris does a great job at putting together game plans. I know he takes a lot of heat for some of the things that we do as a defense. But like I said, he puts together a great game plan every week. And then, you know, it just came up in the meeting, you know, every play that he draws up to counter what the offense is doing, you know, every gap is assigned to one specific player. So just going into this week, going into, you know, every week coming up, addressing that in practice is going to be something key for us as a defense.
Is it a matter of kind of being confused because it's new, or just kind of forgetting while we're out there?
No, I don't think it's that. I think us as a defense, just coming together, it's all going to just come down to trust. Trusting that this player is going to be in this gap, trusting that the next player is going to be in the gap, trusting that I'm going to be in my right gap. A lot of times, you know, we kind of have that, I guess, superhero mentality where, you know, let's try to do everybody's job when at the end of the day, you know, like I said, every gap that Coach Harris draws up is assigned. So we stick to doing, you know, our job, our gap, and, you know, I think that coming from there, it'll be really good.
Have you guys got opportunity, you know, watch some film on James Madison yet, heading into this matchup this Saturday?
Yes, we. I know. As a DB group, we come up every Monday, you know, around 7 o'clock just to watch film on, you know, how, you know, what we should be preparing for. But just coming as a defense, you know, we watch a lot of film, you know, just trying to get ready for this game.
You know, you guys had some injuries in these past couple of games. You know, speak a little about how the you know, next man up comes in and has to step into that role.
Just like you said, I mean, it's football. You know, Canteen went down, had to fill in for him, but we prepared, you know, just to have whether it's the 2s, or 3s, or 4s, you know, just as good as the 1s. I mean, of course, you know, we miss having players like that out on the field with us, but just like you said, you know, it's next man up mentality.
What is the comfort level with the new defensive schemes? You use multiple. You've been here several years. You've had different a couple different defensive coordinators, maybe a couple different schemes. How many games in do you think it takes to get really comfortable game days rather than just practice?
Me personally, I don't think that it takes games, so to say. I think that it all comes down just like I said, just trust. You know, it doesn't matter what defense we go out there and run. You know, 4-2-5, 3-4, 4-3, whatever defense we run. You know, just like I said, you know, Coach Harris puts together a game plan where every gap is assigned for, every part of the field is assigned for, and coverage-wise. So just trusting one another that we'll be there, I think is just, you know, the biggest thing.
Now, there's been several new players that have come in and made big impacts, but a lot of the same guys are back. Of course, Derek Cantine coming back, it's almost like, you know, he was only a game and a half last year, but a lot of the same guys back. But last year, the kind of the big problem was the pass defense.
Yes.
Now the rush defense is ranked near the bottom in the country. You guys have played some really good rushing teams. Georgia State is now in the top 15 or so.
Yeah.
How in one and a half seasons, how does it go from rush defense is now more of a issue than it was before, and pass defense is is it just based on the opponent and what they're able to, you know, beat the defense on?
I wouldn't say that it's based on the opponent. Like I said, I mean, you know, we control what we control. At the end of the day, like I said, I believe that everything is, you know, us. We just got to go out there and do our job. Like I said, just being 100% gap sound, and then just making the play whenever it comes to us.
Justin, with the big game coming up here against a ranked team, ranked 25th, you guys have had some success when people have a number next to their name when they come in here, but you're 0-2 in league play. It's kind of an important matchup, not that any other week isn't, but how are y'all feeling about this James Madison game and the importance of it?
Just like any other game. You know, we prepare for every game the same. Them coming in ranked 2-0 in the conference, you know, it doesn't really matter to us, but we have to go out there and do our job. You know, just give ourselves the best shot at winning week in and week out.
Justin, off of that, obviously, you know, ranked team, undefeated, but you said it's any other game. But the addition to that is we're back at Paulson this weekend.
Correct.
What does it mean to be back at home to where you can have your fans fill the stands, and how big of an impact can those fans make?
I mean, our fans make a world of a difference. You know, coming off of a season where it wasn't too great. You know, even some games, you know, just like BYU. You know, we had, you know, the whole stadium was pretty much filled, and I feel like we brought a good amount of energy into that game. So just to, you know, piggyback off of that, I feel like, you know, our fans make a world of a difference for us. You know, not just me, you know, our whole team, our whole coaching staff, you know, everybody in the facility feels that way. Having our fans here, knowing that they'll be here, you know, win or loss. I know we don't always make them, you know, happy or quote unquote proud, but at the end of the day, like I said, having them here, you know, supporting us, cheering us on, you know, I know they'll be here this weekend for this big game. But like I said, it always makes a world of a difference for us. Thank you.
We'll slide in Caleb Hood for our final player.
Caleb, reflecting back on the last game, you know, there were 4 interceptions, but a couple of them, you know, were a drop pass, pressure that Kyle took. The offense seems to be able to put up some points. How do you assess where you guys are right now from an offensive standpoint at the midway point in the season? And, you know, I imagine for you guys, when you hear Kyle getting criticized, a lot of times I'm sure you guys, that's my quarterback, you know. Give us your feelings on how y'all are doing right now.
First off, I want to say shout out to Pastor Marvin for his AI group, because he taught us all a lot. And one thing like he taught us before the game was that we always behind each other. So Kyle is our quarterback, and we always gonna be behind him 24/7. You know what I'm saying? As an offense, as a team, you know, that's the part of football. It's no me and team in a way. You know what I'm saying? So regardless of our mistakes, because Kyle's not the only one that makes mistakes. I make mistakes. us as a team, we all make mistakes. We're human. We just got to keep on responding from that.
How do you feel like offensively you guys are this week?
I feel like we're on the way. It's just little things now for us. Once we get the little things right, I feel like we'll be special.
Did anything seem a little off? Was Georgia State doing something, or maybe more pressure, or the passes were just a little off? Seemed like there were a few more drops. Drops happened, but there seemed like they came a little more closely together. Passes were a little off. Obviously, the defensive backs got involved. Was there something that seemed a little different about last Saturday's game?
I believe our coaches taught us very well. We were very prepared for the game, and as players, we just got to keep on just play ball. You know, it's not gonna always be pretty. At the end of the day, we just have to be who we are and just make the plays that are being thrown to us, given to us at any point in time.
It seemed like if you look at the receivers, you guys must have been excited as a group with the new offense. We've talked before about that. It seems like Derwin had his days. You had a huge day on Saturday. Jeremy got more involved. It seemed like than he had before. Are you guys looking at like the ball? There's going to be enough targets for everybody, and that's held true?
I mean, this is Coach Ellis' offense. So when the ball is presented to us, we just gotta make the plays. At the end of the day, I feel like Derwin, Amari, me, Jeremy, like, this is just what we do. So when Kyle gives us the chance to make the plays, we make the plays that need to be made.
You know, you guys are halfway through the season. How would you assess the offense so far through these 6 games?
I just feel like we're more comfortable. I believe we're more comfortable in the aspect of coming from a triple option to now a spread and pro style with Coach Ellis, and just now it's just about just responding and making every play that needs to be made.
You've been on the road most of the season thus far, an opportunity to come back home in Paulson Stadium, obviously against an undefeated ranked team in JMU. What have you seen from JMU thus far?
They're a great team. Like, you got to be a good team if you haven't lost yet, you know? So now it's just, but at the end of the day, it's about us. At the end of the day, this is football at the end of the day. So it's just about what we're going to do and how we attack the day. Every day has to be attacked like we're getting reps every time and practice, and then when game comes, we just got to give it our all, regardless of what's going on.
Speaking of being on the road so much, I imagine getting a chance to come home and play in the friendly confines and get your own fans behind you is something you guys are looking forward to.
Of course. The power of Paulson is real. We're going to be standing 10 toes on that, standing tall.
Tell me a little bit about your shirt.
Man, this is it says, "I don't dim my light to fit in." And so one thing my coach always talks about is letting our light shine. And that's in the book of Matthew in the Bible. And that's what Pastor Marvin was pretty much teaching us, giving us the David and Goliath rundown, and how he let his light shine, didn't let nobody fluster. And so I believe that's pretty much what this week, with JMU being such a tough team, such a great team, individuals, they're our Goliath. So it's our time to be David.
You had 11 catches on Saturday, second most in school history, but there's one guy that's ever played here that has more catches in a career than you. And for you to have come in when this offense at one point was running the option, to say that that's the case with still half of this season left, what does that mean to you?
Man, this is football. To be honest with you, it's always, I could say it means a lot to me, but at the end of the day, I know it's all God-given, you know? So at the end of the day, I just feel like I just got to stay hungry, you know? Just keep on going. And then when I'm going, DB, Lil Jet, you know, Lil Marcus, they surpass me. That's all it is.
You come, I think, piggybacking on Danny's question, you come in as an option receiver, blocking first, catching maybe second or third. Now you're in this kind of an offense, being able to catch as many passes as you did the other day, 11. You know, that's got to be something I imagine that you couldn't have ever dreamed of when you came here as part of an option-based offense.
Be honest with you, that's just one thing that, like, as I said, it's all God. And I'm thankful for Coach Ellis taking this chance with us you know, because without him, who would say it would have been another triple option team. So I'm just thankful for, like, all the coaching staff, the whole coaching staff, Coach Helton especially, because he's the one that brought everybody here. And I'm just thankful for him making us into the team that we're going to be.
Justin just mentioned about a players-only meeting, no coaches. Was that just the defense, or was that everybody? And when did that take place?
That was probably just the defense. I'm really not sure on that right there. But, I mean, as a team, you know, like, we're family. So I feel like we meet all the time in that aspect, and we always talk to each other because at the end of the day, we know how ups and downs go in the football field. So it's better for us to know as brothers to know, like, hey, like, we all got each other's back. Like, just stand 10 toes on what you got to do. Be assignment sound.
Thanks.
I have a good one.